Day. Today, we'll discuss the new wave of sanctions imposed on Russia and how this could reshape the global energy and geopolitical landscape. The focus is on the announcement by the European Council and the United States of new restrictions against Russian energy and financial institutions and Moscow's response. All of this is happening against the backdrop of the ongoing military geopolitical conflict in Eastern Europe and the West's desire to reduce its dependence on Russian oil and gas. Today, it's not just about numbers and technology, it's about a strategic rethinking of cooperation with Russia and how Moscow is trying to reorient its economy and foreign policy in the new circumstances. Since 2022, following the start of Russia's full-scale war against Ukraine, Western countries have imposed broad sanctions against Moscow, banking, technological, and energy sanctions. Meanwhile, Russia has strengthened ties with Asian partners, expanded oil and gas supplies to China and India, and reinforced its defense and military policy. Today's measures are part of this evolution. At the end of October 2025, the European Union adopted its 19th sanctions package against Russia, which includes a ban on imports of liquefied natural gas from Russia and measures against financial intermediaries in third countries. Meanwhile, the United States has included major Russian oil companies on its sanctions list, which completely changes the landscape of Russian energy. In response, Russia announced plans for the accelerated development of rare earth production and logistics centers in the Far East, indicating attempts to restructure its economic model under pressure. The main events are unfolding rapidly. The European Union not only expanded energy sanctions, but also imposed a ban on any transactions with key Russian oil and gas entities, including major oil exporters. Additionally, measures are being introduced against the so-called shadow fleet, vessels transporting Russian oil that operate through intermediaries. The United States, in turn, announced the blocking of foreign assets of leading Russian companies and warned third country banks about possible secondary sanctions. Against this backdrop, uncertainty in the global oil market has increased. Analysts note that supply restrictions could lead to price increases as Russia produces a significant portion of the world's oil. Meanwhile, tensions remain in the diplomatic sphere. The United Kingdom has accused Russia of undermining diplomatic dialogue and using harsh rhetoric, which, according to London, complicates any attempts at a peaceful resolution. Experts assess the situation differently. Western analysts believe that the new sanctions are a strategic move aimed at gradually excluding Russia from the global energy system, particularly in the liquefied natural gas and seaborne oil supply segments. Russian economists, on the other hand, note that such measures only accelerate the economy's pivot to the east, stimulating the creation of new export routes and strengthening ties with Asian partners. Neutral experts believe that Russia has already gained experience in adapting to sanctions and is capable of mitigating the effect, especially with the support of China and India, which continue to purchase Russian energy resources. At the same time, it is emphasized that the sanctions are creating additional difficulties for Europe as well. The approaching winter is putting increased pressure on the energy system, and rising gas prices could cause discontent within EU countries. The consequences of these decisions are felt in many areas. For Russia, the new restrictions mean a drop in energy revenues, the main source of budget income and funding for government programs. For Europe, this means an urgent need to find alternative suppliers and invest in renewable energy sources. For the global economy, this means increased uncertainty, higher price volatility, and the risk of energy shortages in certain regions. Politically, the sanctions are intensifying global fragmentation. Russia is strengthening its ties with Asia, while the West is consolidating its efforts in the energy and military sectors. In the long term, this could lead to the formation of two parallel economic blocs operating under their own rules. Time will tell how events will unfold. The balance of power in the coming years depends on how quickly Europe can implement its energy transition and how effectively Russia adapts to the new realities. We continue to monitor the situation